All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson on how the day of the Lord is going to be a very dark time, man. And what I saw that's making me think about this even more, man, is that in a corner shop, like it's a big brand, it's a co-op, it was a co-op, right? I noticed that they did this in a co-op, right? They had the meat, man, locked away in security cases, right? And I was looking at the price of the meat. I didn't want to buy it or anything like that, but I looked at the price of it, and it was like £6.25 to be exact. I think, like £6. So then I asked the person that worked in it. I said, "Have you got these?" I knew the answer anyway, but I wanted to hear from them. I said, "Have you got the cases, these meats in these cases, because people are stealing it all the time?" And she said, what did she say? She said it's rife, which that means like very commonly that people are stealing them. And she said it's rife, right? Letting me know that around this particular place, they're stealing food all the time, man. People are stealing food from the supermarket all the time, to the point where they had to put them in security cases, man. And this isn't even no big area where there'd be really that much foot traffic going by, man. There wouldn't really be that much people walking past there on a daily basis. But what that lets you know is that people are already catching hell and people are struggling. And it lets you know that when things go bad and people don't have the money, they're going to really be, it's going to be everyone that's stealing, man. It's going to be the people that are so-called the civilized ones that was normally just buying things without even looking at the price tag. They're going to be stealing too. This is 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So what that means is that the time's coming that people are going to be fighting against another, right? People are going to be doing things against another, and the course of a person's actions is going to stand in their power. So if they've got the power to get that particular task done, they're going to be able to do it. So if there's a particular predator out there of any kind, they're going to be able to do whatever their heart's desire is, as long as it's in their power to be able to do it. That's the type of times that we're coming into, man. And there's a lot of people, man. I see this on a regular basis, man. Right? There's a lot of people that think that they're tough guys beyond measure, and they think that their training regime can get them out of things, man. They think, oh, I'll go gym so I can fight a bit, so I can whoop ass, and I'm gonna be able to get through these kind of situations. And there's a lot of women that they might have a boyfriend or something like that, that he might be like some 290 pound, big overgrown Ving Rhames type looking geezer, man. Right? Or some big Shaquille O'Neal looking geezer, right? And they think, well, I got him as my man, so I can do what I want to do. And if all hell breaks loose, I'm his main lady, I'm his lady, so he's gonna protect me. But what they don't realize is that those types of guys, in a lot of situations, are gonna become a big target because of fear that men are gonna have of them, man. So them types of guys will be the ones that people might come for first, or team up against first, because they're like, well, I know I can't defeat this guy one-on-one, so I'm gonna have to go up against him with a group of people, which is the same type of mindset that happens on a worldwide scale with all these other nations against Russia, right? They know we can't come up against Russia one-on-one, so we had to make a whole group, NATO, to be against them. So that if one thing happens to one of us, well, then all the rest of us are gonna go up against Russia. You see, that's the kind of mindset that they have on a world level. So why wouldn't they have it on a lower level, man? Verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So if a person wants to rob meat, they're going to go in the store and rob meat. If a person wants to rob alcohol, they're going to go in the shop and rob alcohol. If a person wants to go to the Rolex store and they've always wanted to wear a £5,000 watch, they're going to go to the Rolex store and rob watches. If people have always wanted to wear fancy jewelry, they're going to go to the fancy jewelry store and rob that. People are going to be losing the plot out here, man. People are going to be thieves. People are going to be man, people are gonna be doing all types of stuff, man. Everything illegal is gonna be happening. Just like the Purge movie, right? Those movies were not made for no reason. Yahweh put that in the minds of men to make that movie. Yahweh did that. Yahweh put it in the mind of a man to make that movie, The Purge. Because that's a good movie to show the examples of the types of things that's going to be happening on the earth. Verse 17, a man should desire to go into a city and shall not be able. When we watch those Purge movies, people wasn't traveling from city to city neither. When you watch the movie Children of Men, they were struggling to be able to travel from one place to another. The roads were cordoned off. There was thieves on the sides of the road. People was getting taken out of their cars. It was a hard time, man. It's going to be real tough for people, right? And some of the main people that are going to struggle in this time, as it always continually gets brought out whenever these scriptures get read, is women. Women are some of the main people that are going to be struggling in this time because they're so used to men that are actually better than them in financials, right? Equal to them from the woman's perspective in her mind, in attractiveness, right? But the man superior to them in every other way, right? They're used to them men still doing what the woman wants. But in the time to come, them women ain't going to have no power because the main thing that they have to offer, which is their body, men will be able to get that free of charge if they so choose to. And they'll be able to sell the woman's body, which that might hurt people's feelings to hear that, but so what? This is the dark day of the Lord that's coming, man. A time of darkness and wrath. These are some of the things that's going to be happening, man. Men that might kidnap women and sell them to the highest bidder. That happens in these movies when you see them, and it's happened in the world in general. When you look at what's happening, what happens to women during wartime, it's not nothing nice. It's not even nothing nice that happens to men. It's not nothing nice that happens to children. It's not nothing nice that happens to everybody. It's wartime rules are different than civil time rules, than peacetime rules. Verse 18, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So people are going to be terrified in the time to come. And the reason why they're going to be terrified is because they was proud. They never thought this type of stuff could happen. There's a lot of people that didn't ever think this type of stuff could happen, man. 6 pound steaks being locked away in a container. And soon it's going to get to everything. Soon you're just going to witness in your own lives, people walking into a store, robbing stores, man. But for food, though. Like, it's common to see now on the internet and stuff like that, and maybe in person, depending where you live, to see people maybe rob, like, luxury items. That's common to hear about people robbing luxury items, but it's not common to hear about people robbing in bulk necessity items, food, water. You know, those are the main necessity items that you can steal from a store, food and water. It's not common to see people stealing those in bulk. It's not common, man. But it's getting ready to become very common. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Now, this is one, it's so easy to see that it's going to happen, but yet people don't believe that, man. Women, a lot of women, I guarantee this, man, because the Bible gives us an insight into the minds of women, and then through your own time spending around women anyway in your life, you'll get to see this too, right? And that's from any woman in your life, from your mom, if you got a mom, if you're around your mom or whatever, sisters, if you got a sister, cousins, if you got female cousins, female niece, even a niece, you can see it from even that, man, right? Your aunts, your grandma, any woman that you've been around, man, you can see that they don't have a mindset to think in the future, man. They don't think more than even at the immediate current present in the future, man. And that's why they don't think that men will change their mindset and harsh times will appear. They don't think that will happen. But when those women over in Ukraine experienced what happened over there, they changed their mindset, didn't they? That mindset change of everyone's equal changed real quick. They didn't want to pick up an AK-47 and get it popping. They all of a sudden, then they was part of the women's group. When it was women and children can escape first, all of a sudden then it didn't become we want the same thing as what men want then. Isn't that interesting? And men have remembered that, man. There's a lot of men that have been treated terribly by women There's a lot of men that have been treated disgustingly by women. Like a man that's poor, homeless. He's walking down the street every day, seeing these beautiful women walking down the street, looking at him with disgust. He's remembered that, man. A lot of those men have remembered that. And in a time of chaos, that man that's been homeless and poor, he's way used to struggle than you are as a woman. He's gonna be way more used to that time than you. In fact, in that time, he's gonna be way more comfortable. Because now he don't have to sleep on the street. Now he can run up in someone's house if he wants to do that. Now he can run up in the store and eat the food in there freely if he wants to do that. He don't have to sit on the side of the street no more with his dog playing a whistle or playing a flute. He don't have to ask for any spare change, please, anymore in that time. He's going to be able to do whatever he wants to do now. And so many people that walk past these people from day to day, you think they don't remember some of these people's faces? That probably throw copper coins at them and stuff like that, that spit on them, that throw things on them when they're drunk going on a night out. You think that these people don't pay attention to that? You think they forgot that? You think they remembered your faces? You think they forgot about these things? And that's just one example of a person. So how much more all the other different types of people that have got offenses that they've had in their life that they're going to want to rectify. And again, that's what you see continually in the movie Purge, man. You see that continually in the movie Purge. People have got a personal grudge against somebody, whether it's rightly or wrongly. But either way, they feel they've got a grudge, so then they go out and do things, man. Isaiah chapter 32 and 9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. And like, we can't express this enough, man. Women are not tough. Don't get gassed by any of these female athletes that you see, right? Any of these don't get gassed when you hear, oh, the England women's teams won this cup, or the English women's teams won that cup, because you have to remember this: the English women's team won that English cup or won that World Cup. If they win a World Cup or whatever, they won it against women, and they would not have made it through the qualifying stages in the men's tournament. So don't get gassed, right? Don't get gassed when a woman wins a world title because she won that world title against a woman. Don't get gassed when a woman's talking about, oh, I spar with men all the time and I can beat them up. No, they can't, man. Right? Women are not better than men in combat sports. Women are not better than men in combat sports, man. They're not better. They're not faster. They're not stronger. They're not more intelligent. They're more emotional. So in a time where chaos is coming, right, they're going to be screaming. They're going to want to be having pity on people and bringing people into a place which is going to ruin the safety of a certain place. If you're just bringing in any person that's screaming and crying, then women are more gullible. So if they'll fall for a trick a lot quicker than what a man will fall for a trick, man. Men are the ones that are going to rise up in a time like that. Women are the ones that fall in a time like that, man. And when the world's going nice, women are the ones that get all the power because they didn't have to build up the society, but then they can just be in it right like they are now, talking about they don't need no men, forgetting about all the millions of men that are behind the scenes doing all the things that's making them be proud to say they don't need no man. Verse 10. Many days and years shall be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fall, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vines. So that's a rebuke on women, that they need to fix up what they're doing. But there's also another group of people on the men's side that are going to need to fix up what they're doing, man. And that's these gangster tough guys, man. Because a lot of these gangster tough guys, their main victims are civilians, man. Right? Their main victims are civilians that have got work in the morning or that have got a mortgage to pay. Right? So it's easy for you to act like a tough guy when somebody's got something to lose. Right? But when people have not got nothing to lose, you ain't going to be the only one that's got a group of people that's prepared to get violent. You ain't going to be the only one that's got a group of people that's ready to do things, man. You ain't going to be the only people. You ain't going to be the only one that's got a weapon that they're prepared to use in that day. Because a lot of these gangster guys, right, they're used to one-way violence. So they're used to rolling upon a guy with whatever he's got. With a couple other people behind them saying, give me this or give me that. They're used to it going down that way. They're not used to people fighting back. They're not used to that, man. or they're not used to somebody coming at them with equal aggression, and that's why when it goes up against when so a lot of these Israelite tough guys, a lot of these, I don't even want to call them Israelites, you know, a lot of these 2/3, when they're rolling up and doing their thing, and when the police show up, all of a sudden they might have a weapon and they throw it away. And the reason why they throw that weapon on the ground is because they know that if they raise it up, they're gonna get murked on the spot, man. So they already know to not get too crazy with the violence when they're outmatched. But in the time to come, Yahweh's gonna equal everything out, man. Everyone's gonna be on lunatic mode in that time. Everyone's gonna be in a criminal mindset in the time to come. Whereas right now in this world, you've got the gangsters and the gang members and all of these underground criminals and all of these people that they're the ones in that criminal mindset. Whereas everybody else is trying to be on that fake civilized fake stuff, right? But really, they've got in their mind to do exactly the same things as what these criminals are doing, but they're not doing it because they can get the same funds from a legal method in a lot of the crimes. So they're like, I don't need to do that kind of stuff. But when all hell breaks loose, it's not like they didn't have that stuff in their fort, man. And there's going to be a lot of people that had that same type of mentality, but kept it hidden. So these gangster guys are going to realize that they ain't the only person that's violent, man. Just watch, man. They're going to realize that, man. Amos chapter 5 and verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh. To what end is it for you? The day of Yahweh is darkness and not light. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him. And what's happened over there, what I've been seeing loads of pictures of, man, in Florida, I think it's called Fort Myer, is that sharks are swimming down the streets, man. That's crazy. Sharks are swimming down the streets. And I saw another image of somebody like a crocodile swimming in someone's house, man. So a flood came in, and now people have got to worry about getting ate by a shark. That's insane. And just picture anywhere else that there's floods, the same thing could happen there, man. Floods are common in London. That could happen there. Floods sometimes happen in Birmingham, right? But London's on the near the anywhere where it's near to the beaches and stuff like that. It can happen there, man. It don't take long for animals to get onto the land. As you saw, there's sharks swimming down the street, man. There's brothers over here in the UK that go into how there's wild cats around here, man. There's wild animals around here. I remember when I was driving on the motorway near like Staffordshire somewhere, and a damn deer or gazelle type thing ran across the street, man. So there's wild animals out there. If there's a prey, which that animal will be a prey, then you best believe there's a predator for that prey. Best believe there's predators for that. So that's the kind of things that people are going to be seeing, man. Verse 19 again. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. So you're going to escape one danger. So some of these people over there in Florida right now, they might escape from a lion. I mean, from a shark, right? And then a crocodile eats them, man. Someone might literally go through that, man. And people might never know that the shark ate them because there ain't going to be no evidence. There might not be no evidence left. And that's going to be Yahweh's doing if that happens too. That's going to be the judgment of Yahweh, man, which is a scary thing to think about. Verse 20. Shall not the day of Yahweh be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? And that's why Yahweh has been continually telling men to make women repent, man, because they're not prepared for this. And I know they think they are, right? If you're a woman watching this video, I know you think you are ready for this. And I know you think, oh, I don't need no man. I got my own plan. I got my own bag and all of that. What's money going to be worth when everyone's stealing things? When you don't need to tap your card, you don't need to put your card in, type in your 4-digit PIN number and wait for it to say processing, then wait for it to say a payment accepted. When you don't need to do that anymore, what is money going to be worth? When you have to go through all the other people that are violent and stealing food in order to get to the damn shop in the first place. And in order to get to the shop, you have to drive on the roads where people are going to be being madmen and mad women. Then you got to get in the store, pick all your items out without getting attacked, or defend yourself if you do get attacked, right? Then after you've picked all the items you want, you're going to have to come out of the store, right, without getting attacked and having them items stolen from you. And then as you're going back to your car, You're going to have to protect and look over your right and your left shoulder to make sure that you're not getting robbed before you get into your car. Then when you got all the items in the car, you're going to have to go out, right? Take all the items back to your house. Make sure you're not being followed by anyone so that they know where all the goods are going, right? And be like, okay, this person's going to this house, so I know they've got stuff up in there, right? Scout out the house. Okay, I know it's just her and her 2 kids. It's just her and her 3 kids. There ain't no man in there, so I'm gonna come back later at night time, steal all that, because she's probably got more stuff up in there. And if none of that does happen, well then now when you've ate all that food, you're gonna have to go back out and do the same thing again. But the next time round, that thing that I just said might happen on that go round. And because you got proud because it didn't happen the first time, well, now you got comfortable, you elevated your pride levels, and now your how sets you for it to happen the second time round, or not. If it's not the second time round, the third or the fourth or the fifth. Or it might not be somebody that's a stranger that shows up. It might be a neighbor. Isn't that what the prophecy says? That a neighbor's gonna have no pity for lack of bread. 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 9. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Some of you women might get betrayed by your female friends that have got a man. She might call you up, what's up, girl, hey, girl, and all that BS, or how you Eves talk. Yeah? Oh, how you doing? You got food? You all right for food, yeah? Pretend like she's talking in some nice way. You all right for food, yeah? Yeah, I've got loads. You might get proud. Yeah, I've got loads of food. I went and bought loads of waters. I went and brought loads of tins of sardines, loads of this, loads of that. I've got bags of rice, pastas, everything. I got chicken meats, got a backup generator. I've been watching the prepper videos. You might say all of that on the phone to your girl, yeah? And then she might tell her man, oh yeah, babe, we can rob her. We can rob Laquanda real easy. We can rob Angelica real smooth. We can rob Vasquez, Hernandez, Isabella. We can rob whatever you're gonna name's gonna be, man. Whatever you Eve's names are, man. You Negro, Latino, and Native American women's names are. We can rob her because she lives by herself. We can rob her, or we can go to her house, and if she books up, then you can do what you gotta do, babe. She might be on that. And a lot of you women don't think that that's the case, but it is the case. That is what's the type of things that can be happening in that time, man. There's not going to be no such thing as, oh, my friend in that day. There's going to be my hunger versus your hunger, man. And if you ain't got the Lord backing you, then you're done. Because it's not you know what, let me get the scripture. It's not going to be a thing about being tough in the time to come. Yahweh don't care about how many bicep curls you can do. Because let me just say this, a bicep curl doesn't have any kind of functionality really for fighting and for violence. I can't really think of I can think of a few ways maybe that a bicep curl movement might help in a fight or something like that, but not really, to be honest with you. That doesn't make you a good fighter, being able to bicep curl a lot or having the biggest muscles. That don't really mean that much as value as people give it into, man. Because a lot of army soldiers are not the biggest, bulkiest guys. So there's that to be spoken of too. Jeremiah chapter 9 and verse 23. Thus saith Yahweh, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches. So don't get gassed if you've got money. Don't get gassed if you've got wisdom. Oh, I had the knowledge to know how to make a fire with some dry leaves and a little fire stick thing that I know. I know how to set the spark off and blow on the wind and blow into the leaves and get that fire started. I know how to do all of that. Oh, I know how to make I know how to make certain things. I know how to make a backup bed in a tent with tarps. I know how to do all of these things. I've been watching my prepper channels. And don't get gassed if you can do all of these things, man. Because Yahweh can still be against you. If you didn't give honor to Yahweh in that time, well, he can just make all of those skills be used to help somebody out for a time, somebody else out, and then destroy your ass afterwards. He can make you use them skills to help somebody of the elect, man. And then still destroy you. Verse 24, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am Yahweh. So we're supposed to glory in that. Not glory in how tough we are. Not glory in how much wisdom we got in the world's knowledge. Not glory in how rich we are neither. Not try and be a high value man of this world, but try and be a high value man of the kingdom of heaven, man. And that doesn't mean don't make money. That doesn't mean don't understand certain things that happen in this world. And that doesn't mean don't try and make your body stronger. But it means that that's not what we're supposed to put our trust in. That's not where you're supposed to put your trust in, man. And the more you have of any of those three categories, the harder it is to become humble, man. If you was like the top 1% strongest men in this world, right, you're gonna be proud when it comes to physical things with anyone. You're gonna start thinking, man, there ain't many people that I can beat, that can touch me, because you're rarely gonna see anybody that can physically do anything to you. Same thing with if you're the top 1 richest percent of people, you ain't gonna be humble. You ain't gonna be meek. You're gonna think, man, there's not nothing I can't afford in this world. Same thing with if you're 1% smartest people or 10% smartest people. You ain't gonna feel like you need to listen to nobody else, because you're gonna say, I'm smarter than what they are. I know things. They don't know what I know. I've got this many degrees. I've got that many bachelors. I've got this many masters. I'm a PhD in this. I'm a PhD in that. I've got knowledge. I've did this course. I've did that course. I have this understanding. I've got networks with all of these different people that are people that understand things. I don't need to listen to what they've got to say. And for that pride that you're going to have in either your might, riches, or wisdom, you're going to be destroyed for that, man. And that's why Yahweh deliberately chose people that don't have the glorious glow of this world upon them, so that people would have to listen in humbleness, and not in, oh, I'm listening because he's got money and I want some of that, or I'm listening because I want some of the knowledge that he has, or I'm listening because he's strong and I'm scared. Verse 24, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am Yahweh, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith Yahweh. Right, and I think I've made this lesson go way longer than it needed to, but Yahweh decides how men speak anyway, which let me get that scripture. Yahweh decides how men speak. Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 1. The preparations of the heart in man, and the answer of Yahweh, and the answer of the tongue is from Yahweh. Let me read it again. The preparations of the heart in man, and the answer of the tongue is from Yahweh. Right, so it's not of a man to speak and say anything that he says, man. And that's why also, let me read this. When these Edomites try and come for certain Israelites, man, they try and put them in front street and make them become embarrassed, right? Yahweh's gonna be the one speaking to these people. Yahweh's gonna let it be. Yahweh might put the spirit on men to reveal something that no witnesses apart from them would have known. That he might make a man say a certain name, or certain woman's name, a certain person's name, right? So he might make us say, I know what you did to this person on this day at this time for this reason. I know what you did. And that person's going to be terrified, man. And I remember watching a movie like that. In fact, it was in the UK. And the guy was the guy was like some angel that meant to be some angel that came down from heaven or something like that. And he was just revealing people's secrets to them, man. He was revealing to them the bad things that they did. And they started bugging out, man. They lost their mind. Luke chapter 21 and verse 15. In fact, Luke chapter 21 and verse 12. But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. So when these things are happening, it's going to be a good reason why. And although those men are going to be scared when these things happen, it's going to be done so that them men, through Yahweh speaking through them, can tell these people exactly what's going to happen to them, man. He might even give them a vision of the future with the Israelites changed in the kingdom and show them exactly what's going to happen to them, man. And they might not even have no power to do anything anymore. They might burst into tears right there and then on the spot, man. He might just give him a vision of that same man talk that Yahweh was using to talk, right? He might just give him a vision of that man being changed and him in the kingdom with that same person that's condemning them right now in captivity, man. Yahweh could do that. How do we know that Yahweh could do that? Because if he couldn't, he wouldn't have made me speak and say that right now. Verse 14, settle it therefore in your hearts not to meditate before what ye shall answer. So don't say, if he says this, that's what lawyers do, man. Oh, this is my defense. If he said, I know he's got this point against that crime. but he doesn't know I've got this evidence. You see? Oh, he doesn't know how many witnesses I got, right? Which is what Esau don't know how many witnesses Yahweh's got against him for his crimes. He thinks because he did these things deep in the earth, in the hidden depths of the place that he's made, in the caves that he's made, in the underground bunkers that they've made, right, hidden behind from the eyes of men, in the darkness of the night. They think, well, nobody saw us do that, so we didn't do it. Only we know we did these things, so nobody can't tell us nothing on that, because who was there to witness it? That's what they think. Not knowing that Yahweh's eyes are 1,000 times brighter than the 10,000 times brighter than the sun. And that he knows what things people have did, man. Even we as Israelites, we can't say that we ain't sinned neither. We can't say that Yahweh don't know what we've did. Yahweh knows all the things that we're disgusted about of our own selves that we've did. Yahweh knows that we did them. And even in the kingdom, the scriptures speak about how we're going to be made to see all the wickedness that we've did, man. So that we don't get too proud. We're going to know all, man. We're going to know all the things from all our lifetimes that we've did. And that's going to be a humbling experience in itself, man. To know how big of a piece of dirt bags we were, man. Yet even though through all of that, Yahweh still would have chosen some of us if we're of the elect. Which shows what John 3:16 really means, man. Not what this world teaches. Verse 15. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. So people ain't going to be able to say anything against this, what we're saying. Neither are they going to be able to stop wanting to hear more. Which is the reason why you got Vocab Malone doing back research on everyone's history that's ever been from One West. This guy is obsessed, man. Right? If it was anything else, this guy would be like this guy's like Stan from Eminem's thing, man. He's like Stan from 8 Mile, man. Or whatever the thing is, man. That music video of Stan cutting out letters from the newspapers to send it hateful note and that. You know what I mean? Bugging out. He's like a damn stalker of Hebrew Israelites, man, traveling all over different countries just to scoff. Not because he wants to break down, because he wants to scoff. That digging back on finding out books that men have wrote that certain brothers didn't even know about. Just going all about making parodies, dressing up, wearing different clothes, talking about some private eye, wearing a monocle, puffing on a pipe, wearing a damn Sherlock Holmes outfit. That's obsessed, man, but he can't gainsay it though. And neither can he resist. This guy's probably been to more camps than certain Hebrew Israelites have been to, man. He's probably traveled and saw more camps than certain Israelites have seen. This guy is obsessed, man. That's like a crazy fan, you know? That's like a Anne Wilkes, man, from that movie Misery. If anyone knows that movie, this guy's like Anne Wilkes, man. This guy's a lunatic. He loves the Hebrew Israelites, man. The Hebrew Israelites gave his life meaning, man. Which I ain't saying that being a Hebrew Israelite didn't give every single Israelite's life meaning, because it did. But it gave his life meaning too, because now he's been chosen by the Lord to be a scoffer. And so lucky if it seems like I'm saying a lot, man, but these things need to be said about these clowns, man. Luke chapter 21 and verse 4, and they can say, man, they can say whatever they want to say about Hebrew Israelites anyway, man, but ultimately they can't say whatever they want to say about the Lord, though. Because the prophecies written in the Bible is still the prophecies written. But people have got a problem with the things that are written to Israel now, all of a sudden, because we're saying that we're Israelites, but they never had a problem with there being a chosen nation before. But now all of a sudden that we are saying we're the chosen nation, that other people that said that they're not the chosen nation, now all of a sudden no one's chosen no more. Verse 15, for I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. And ye shall be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinsfolk and friends, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death. So there's a hell of a lot of things that's going to happen, man. There's a lot of things that's going to happen. Verse 17, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but they shall not an hair of your head perish. So certain men are going to be hated for the Yahweh's name's sake, but the people ain't going to be able to do nothing, man. They're going to want to do things, but they're not going to be able to. The angels are going to protect certain men and keep them away, man, just like how they did for Lot. when them freaks wanted to try and freak off with Lot, man. They got made blinded, man. Verse 19. In your patience possess ye your souls. Right? So by being patient, man, that's how we're going to be able to overcome these things, man. And one of the main things that we're going to have to overcome is that charagma, Revelation 13 and 16. Which, since you've got all these people coming up against the Israelites, what did they say that the mark is then? What did they say Revelation 13 and verse 16 to verse 17 is? And if they say it's not the thing that we say it is, well, what is that thing then? What is that CHIP? What is it in prophecy? Because they're clearly going to use it. Why have they made that? What is it then? Is it something that we should take? Is it something that we shouldn't take? Hebrew Israelites say we shouldn't take that. The ones, the great millstone anyway. Great millstone and anyone that believes their doctrine. They say don't take it. Because it wouldn't be of a benefit to do that. That's you giving yourself over to this system, man. Just imagine all the videos that Hebrew Israelites make right now, yeah. Imagine them making that, but they got a chip in their hand. Imagine how stupid that would be. You're bunning out the society, talking about how bad it is, but then you're walking around with a device that they've put right in your hand or in your head. That would be stupid. And I'm ending the lesson there, man. There's a lot of things that's going to happen, man. There's a lot of things that Yahweh is going to do, and I don't know how long I made this go. Yeah, that's not that long anyway, man. But I'm going to end the lesson there. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the nation of Israel. Shalom.